What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and this video just completely came out of surprise by nowhere because it's basically two announcements rolled into one, two separate announcements. I wasn't going to make a video on on the first one until I read this, and then I was like, okay, this is something I want to talk about, and I might as well cover the stuff that was in the one beforehand as well. So, what am I talking about here? Project Cars. Now, Project Cars is obviously a racing game coming out on PC, Wii U, PS4 and Xbox One. Now, it was announced earlier that they went into some of the technical details. For example, on the PC and the 8th gen console, well, specifically the Xbox One and PS4. So, I'll give the quick rundown. They gave the minimum spec for PC. They gave the recommended spec for PC. You can find them, it's not really what this is about. They've said that Project Cars is going to run at 1080p 60 FPS on a PS4, 900p 60 FPS on the Xbox One. They haven't talked about the Wii U version. They said they're going to have a separate statement about that at a later date. It also gets into things like the amount of... There's going to be a 32-bit and a 64-bit client. The amount of different people in the races will vary. They have up to, I think it's up to 48, or maybe it was 64 different people on a 64-bit chip, or the 64-bit version of the game. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff crammed in there as well. And one other thing from that one that I really find interesting. Now, I know racing games are generally not as graphically demanding because it's all the backdrops and all. There's very little going on outside one or two specific areas. But the PC version is going to have support for 12K resolution. 12K resolution. Now, 12K has been shown off already. That's a triple monitor setup, each monitor being 4K. Now, I think it was January of 2014, maybe it was February, I think it was start of last year anyway, at CES, when Nvidia showed off, it was a racing game at the time, I don't remember what game it was, but they showed it off running at 12K 60 FPS. It was three monitors all connected up, running, again, I don't remember what the game was. I think all the settings were maxed out as well, and it was running at 60 FPS. At 12K resolution. Now, yeah, of course, you need a beast PC for this. The PC in question at CES was running 4 Titans. 4 Titans. That's $4,000 on graphics alone. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's over the top. If I had $4,000 to spend on graphics cards, I would buy fucking 4 Titan X's. Just because. Yeah, because why not? But that's the main stuff covered in that one anyway. Now, the reason here, now we come to the second announcement, which is pretty much the reason why I'm making this video, because this is the stuff I find interesting. The PS4 and Xbox One versions of Project Cars are going to have graphics settings on the consoles. Yeah, graphics settings. Now, they're not as crazy and as detailed as stuff like the Xbox, for example, or sorry, the Xbox, the PC. It's not like you're going to have anti-aliasing settings, texture resolution settings and all. Digital Foundry, they got some hands-on time with it recently, but they didn't get to do a full spec analysis of the performance and what these actually showed off. So I'm gonna have the 4 visuals into this video. They'll be coming up right now in a second, and I'm gonna go over them real quick just to let them, so people can see and my little thoughts on them. So the first one we have up is the visuals, and it specifically says visual FX, so it's more so the special effects, because when you look at it, you'll see it here now, it's got post-processing filters. You've got stuff like lens flare, sun flare from interior and exterior. You've got bloom, like for bloom lighting style stuff, heat haze, global specular irradiance. You've got exposure compensation, raindrops, vignette, I can't ever even pronounce this word, crepuscular rays, and screen dirt. So it doesn't seem to be anything major. Obviously, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of performance stuff in there, but they're not going to be anything huge. So they are mostly kind of stuff that you may like. It's kind of an immersion thing, really, or not. I would say an authenticity thing, but the next one, the next screenshot with the settings, are the authenticity settings. So in this one, it's I think this one is more the feel rather than anything graphically, really, because I mean, when you look at it, it's got stuff like steering assistance, braking assistance, driving assist allowed. Yeah, okay, well, we all know what that kind of stuff is. Anti-lock brakes, stability control, traction control. They're all stuff that you'd find in the car. Well, maybe not steering assistance. Well, power steering maybe. Braking assistance. I don't know, ABS. Blah. But you look at those kind of ones. These ones are, well, yeah, authenticity. They make the game feel, probably make the game feel and play, control a little bit different. You've got damage. This screenshot obviously shows visual only, but there's probably off, visual only, and ones that would, I'd assume, would be the next setting that would actually, damage would impede your performance depend on what part of your car is damaged. It's just a guess, you know, not 100% sure. Mechanical failures, tire wear, fuel usage, auto start engine, flags and penalties. It's all pretty standard stuff in the authenticity section, at least anyway. Now, this is the one that I especially found to be the most interesting on it. So we're going to take a look at this one anyway, because this one is the field of view. Now, the field of view on PC, in PC games, actually increases load on the CPU and GPU. It's mostly CPU, but you know, because you're rendering more at once and more things are happening at once. It's showing off more stuff is going on. It's an increased load on your CPU and GPU. So here it is: field of view, bumper camera, hood camera, roof camera, chase camera, cockpit camera, helmet camera, rear passenger camera. So the main thing is they're all adjustable to show off more, well, essentially more field of view. So you can see, you can customize it depending on which camera you're using and how much you want to see in each individual camera. So it's going to be interesting to see when you turn up some of those settings. Now maybe they start at max, I'm not sure, but it's going to be interesting to see if the performance takes a dip when you increase them at all, because I mean, it's nice to see, and it is a main thing for the settings, at least anyway. We move on to the last one. The last one is it's still field of view, but this one seems to be more, we kind of put it at an authenticity field of view, if you will. So you've got high speed shake. Obviously, the faster you're going, the faster your car is shaking, you know. So it's going to affect if it affects the camera or not. World movement, G-force effect. I'm not sure how the world movement would go on, but the G-force effect I know would be for when you're turning, say like when you're driving fast, or when you're taking a corner pretty sharp and pretty fast. It will be the shift of your car. You know, it'll be how your car handles and how the driver in it handles when he's doing this corner at all this speed. Show helmet, yeah, helmet depth of field. Helmet depth of field is going to be one as well, actually, that would possibly increase or decrease performance depending on the setting you have, because it'll be the depth of field. So chances are helmet depth of field is most likely, say you're looking off in a distance, the inside of your helmet will probably be, you know, it will probably have depth of field applied to it, but it'll be out of focus because you're looking and your view is focused on something in the distance, which was the, you know, the track ahead of you or the next car. So it could have something to do with that. Camera leaning, helmet look to apex, you know, that's all seems to be all pretty standard stuff anyway. So that's pretty much everything in this video. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out, specifically when Digital Foundry get their hands on it, or when the game actually releases, and you know, if there's mass outrage over everyone turning everything up to max on the consoles and it slows to a crawl. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that anyway. Quick shout out right at the end of the video. Once again, thanks to Digital Foundry for having these, for taking these screenshots. So all the credit goes to them. I'm going to have a link to the Eurogamer article where you can see all the details and description on this. And that's pretty much everything. So let me know in your comment section below, specifically about what you think about Project Cars console versions having, even if they're minor, but it's a start, graphics settings, as well as some other settings, but mostly graphics settings. So let me know what you think about all that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.